Hello. So, yesterday I talked a bit about animals and how they can show you, sometimes they can share your illnesses. They hold your energies, you can, your symptoms. They can mirror your symptoms. And animals are a real good guide for us in that sense. I want to tell you about a little bit about a story rather than myself about working with someone else that I worked with, and she had a dog. This was really interesting. She actually lived in New Wales, Australia, and she had a dog. And I remember I just saw a post that she put up, and she was desperate. She was, asking for prayers because her dog was at the vets and had an infection, and they really weren't even sure what was going on, but they literally had told her that she had 3 days. The dog would be gone. Its organs were shutting down, and there was nothing she could do, and there was nothing else they could do. And so she was just asking for everybody to pray. And I've told you I have this intuitive abilities with animals, and I immediately saw it, and I got this deep instinct that I could help. And so I reached out to her and I said, if you give me your permission, I would like to do some healing work on your animal, your dog. And she said, yes, of course. And so I started working with him, and it took a little bit for me to connect to him. It took, I think it was about three different, sessions until I really got a connection to him. And I just started bringing in all this healing light and working with him. And I remember I got this feeling like, and I told her, I said, he's going to be fine. And I remember later I thought about it, and I thought, I was telling her he was going to be fine. And, whoa, that's a big step to be taking, but I just knew it. And anyway, she got a call within a couple days, and the vet said they had no idea what was happening. All his numbers were reversing, and he was going to be okay. And so we continued to work because she also had a lot of issues in her life. She had a very bad car accident, was hit by a drunk driver, and multiple injuries throughout her body. And so, and that's tied into, part of our karmic, what we come here for, our karmic reality. And then also, it has to do with depending on, where we're going in life and our traumas that we're carrying. And there was a lot of fear and a lot of anger, and there's a lot of pain and struggle that came along with her accident. And as I looked at her and him and worked with them both, I told her, because she'd had a hip replacement, and she had an incision, and they said that she couldn't be with her dog because the infection that he had could get into her incision. So they were going to be separated. And it was very interesting, because I knew right away that the reason that they needed to be separated was because she needed to become whole on her own, and he needed to become whole on his own. Both needed to be able to heal their traumas on their own so that they could come back together and be together without carrying all the trauma and without having to help each other carry the trauma. Because that's what he was doing for her. And so I worked with her a lot, gave her a lot of suggestions and things to do and how to start working through some of this stuff. And I remember she got a hold of me one point, and she'd said she literally just pulled off the side of the freeway and just started to cry and pray and talk to God. And, and she was making some really great breakthroughs. And so I kept working with him and talking with her and working with her. And what happened was, I remember I'd done this healing session on him, and I got a hold of her and I said, you're going to get a message. You're going to get a message that you can be with him now. It's over. It's done. You've both done it. And the next morning she got a hold of me and said, I just got a call, and they said I can be with him now, and that it's okay, and that we're back. And the amazing thing, he was a little bit older too. He is still going strong today. And, she's got more, I think, turbulence in her life because we all do. And unless we address it, it just starts building up again. But she's navigating through things, and she's got him by her side. And it was just a really beautiful, beautiful thing to watch and to see how connected they were, that he was carrying all her trauma, and he was getting sick from it. And she also realized how much she needed to stand in her own power and her own strength and be with him without him having to carry her. So it really gave her more power, which was really, really beautiful to see. So I wanted to share that with you because I've shared a lot of my experiences, but there are also other people's experiences that I have seen too. And it's really a beautiful thing. And it's not always with animals. I mean, it can be with animals, but it can be, a loved one. I had another situation where I had a pretty difficult situation with one of my relatives. And we've just it's never really, I've come to terms with everything. I've accepted the way things are. There's nothing really to forgive. I've let it all go. I've moved past it, but it's also it's an energy that I don't really want to be around. So I don't spend a lot of time with that person anymore. But I also realized that as difficult as some of the things that we went through together, and how, from my perspective, she was very, very difficult for me. What I later learned in reflection and in the deep inner work was that she was my greatest gift. She agreed to come and take on this position and to help to show me what was inside of me to see if I could break through it, which I did. So I felt very, very grateful when I really realized that, it's not really, we can sit here and say so-and-so is a bad person and they're bad and they're mean and they're horrible to me. But it's really, if you can go deeper, look at the lesson and see what they're trying to what it is that you need to heal within yourself. And it's not even about them, because they may not be conscious at all about, where they are in life. But if you can look a little deeper and see the gift, because there is always a gift, even in the hardest, most difficult and darkest situations, there is a gift. And if you can start navigating your life through all the gifts, it is absolutely amazing. The sunshine really does break through. And you don't sit and struggle through all these things anymore, because they're just life occurrences that come on by. And it's really your perspective on them. And even when they're difficult, I mean, I've gone through a lot of death in my life, and I've gotten to a point now that death to me is a beautiful thing. It's a passing. It's a moving of our energy. They're on to the next. And I've also experienced animals that come back to me. So, and I've experienced, I've had a lot of experiences where I've connected to those that have passed. And it is such a beautiful and clean energy. So there's really, I don't carry this sadness. I mean, don't get me wrong. If somebody I love dies, I'm probably going to cry. There's that, which is a healthy thing to do. But it's also to see the beauty they were and the gift they were and what you got from them and what you gave to them. And start and understand that it's not the end of anything. It's really the beginning. So anyway, I wanted to share that little experience with you, and I will see you soon.